Okay, and welcome to the Bestie Krewe podcast with Taye and Dre. Yeah.
Yes, Dre.
We got rid of the Dre the last time.
We did. There was a vote.
Okay, there's a vote, and there's no Dre.
No Dre.
Taye and Dre. It didn't even work. It wasn't really. Yeah.
So we're good.
So how was your 3 weeks? Like, how long was the last time we recorded?
It was a little bit more than
3 months.
Yeah, it was more than 3 weeks because it was my birthday weekend. So, but yes, it's been good.
Everything been okay?
Everything's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah. How about you? What you got going on?
I'm in like graduation hell.
Uh-huh.
So I got a little one who's leaving high school, and it's all the things. Like, they're expensive. You're supposed to put that on vibrator. Or vibrate.
Yes, vibrator.
Come on.
How did you know I had that mode on?
I don't know. So, okay. But I mean, like it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, you better cherish moments. The time's gonna fly." But like,
it did fly.
I put it in. This is context for everybody, and I might have said this before. And I have a theory. I have a conspiracy theory on this. So let me just start with the beginning. Barack Obama became president 17 years ago. Mm-hmm. It seems like it was yesterday, but 17 years ago, my daughter was also born 17, going to 18 years ago. And I don't know what happened, but all I know is that I'm not ready for it, and I want her to slow down and calm down. It's going too fast. Yeah. So she graduates next week, and we did prom and all that stuff. And
then before you know it, she'll be on the other side. High school.
What's that? That's next week. I just said next week.
No, I mean,
are you coming?
I am going to come.
Oh, you were going to tell me you come in? That was a surprise. Look,
no, I RSVP'd. You didn't see? That's not a surprise when you RSVP'd.
I don't handle that.
Okay,
somebody else handles that.
Well, maybe I RSVP'd in invisible ink, but I'll be there.
Wendell, are you coming, Wendell?
I can't. I got somebody that's graduating from family. I'm sorry.
Wendell's going to be in.
They need to postpone that graduation, and it's like who wants to go to
right. The only thing we do in Cleveland is leave.
Oh, jeez.
That's why I'm not going.
Shout out to Cleveland in the building. so this is kind of funny how we do this. We don't do this every week, right? But a lot of stuff goes on, right? And so what we have, there's two sides. One side is that we have the benefit of being introspective about a thing.
Right.
The other side is that, everything's fast. You know what I'm saying? Like 13-year-old boy who just got his first thing and it's just fast for no reason. Right? So I'm going to start this off with a joke.
Okay.
Now, for everybody out there, Dre has told me there's certain jokes I can't tell. I can't tell jokes about.
You don't have to go through the list
people
of what
from Brooklyn
yes.
and the you know what I'm saying, the P and the is, I can't tell those. I can't tell transcontinental jokes.
Correct.
That's right. The transcontinental. I can't tell those. But I have a joke and it's going to make sense. You ready?
Okay.
Now, if you don't know, I'm the guy who calls my friends and just tells them random corny jokes.
Every day.
So it's not every day.
It's not?
It's not every day because I don't have jokes. But this is what I told you before, so you got to act like you never heard it before.
Okay.
So there's a boy, right? And the boy has this really bad stutter, right? So one night he's praying to God. He's like, God, please heal me from my stutter. So God, of course, works quick, fast. So next day he sends him a shaman to his hut. And the shaman comes and brings crystals and says, this is going to help you heal you. Then he sends a sheep herder, and the sheep herder brings warm goat milk. He even sends a priest to do an exorcism.
Okay.
Then finally, the last person to come is a prostitute. And she says to him, the thing that I'm going to perform for you is going to feel so good that it's going to cure you of your stutter. What I need to do is I have to suck the stutter out of you. And the boy stops and in perfect speech says, you mean an exorcism? The priest, the exorcism, Catholic. Okay, which takes to the next thing. This is why we don't need a black pope. We just don't need a black pope. That's why.
Your segue?
With everything going on, everybody's like, let's get a black pope. No, we don't need a black person at the head of the Roman Catholic Church.
Why not?
Because it's a cesspool of everything. Sorry to all my Roman Catholics. And, Well,
It's
you're
okay.
you're reformed now. So, but think about this. We're in a place right now. We're on like the chop block for everything.
Okay.
Why we want to put a black person at the
Maybe
top
they
of that?
can make it better.
No.
Maybe this is what
They're
we've
gonna be
always needed.
They're gonna be blamed for 2,000 years or whatever, and they're gonna be blamed for Jesus' death. I bet you.
Okay.
They're gonna call it like black on black crime or something like that. I promise you, it's not gonna be like cool. Everybody's like, oh, let's have. We don't have to have first black everything. We can, like nobody says I want to. Oh, there's a first black mafia leader. No, we don't want to do it.
I mean, there are a lot of Catholic priests who are black.
They're not the head of the
but
country.
They very well could be. They're in the church now. Why can't they not have an
I'll
opportunity?
give you an example since we're going to go back to it. You know that one of the candidates for the black be the head is actually somebody who does not believe in anything other than, does not believe in same-sex marriages.
Does not believe in same-sex marriages?
Totally opposed to it.
Okay.
He just happens to be from Nigeria.
Well.
So what I'm saying is...
He's who? He's what is he now?
He's
He's a father?
Yeah, but he's not a pope. The pope is like, Pope, like the Vatican is a sovereign nation.
I understand.
Has like an army and everything.
I get it.
And then let's remember who actually funded the slave trade. And 2,000 years ago, Jesus put the Jews. Oh.
So all of that is the reason why today we can't have a black pope.
I'm saying we don't have to.
We don't have to do anything.
No, look, everybody's like, oh, please, I'm like, yo, do you understand? Like sometimes it just makes sense to be the first of everything.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I get it. But it does not have to happen. But if it did, it's not your
Are you cheering
religion.
for it? Okay, so you can we talk about this?
Am I cheering for
Can we
it?
talk about this? Can we talk about your
Have you ever
business?
seen me cheer for?
Not recently. You're really calm these days.
Yeah.
You used to cheer for destruction. But let me ask you a question.
I used to cheer for what?
Destruction. So let me ask you a question real quick. Are you you used to be Roman Catholic?
I was born and raised Roman Catholic, correct.
Okay. And then at some point you didn't become Roman Catholic.
I mean, I haven't denounced the church. I haven't gone on somewhere and said I denounce the Roman Catholic Church. But at the same time, my family, they're from Trinidad.
Are they going to listen to this?
You think my mother doesn't know that I am not a full Roman Catholic? It's at the end of the day, I still follow the morals that the church taught me as a child, right? And that most churches teach you as a child, which is to be a good person. Be a good Samaritan.
What about exorcism?
If you want an
For people with
exorcism,
stutters.
the Catholic Church is where you go. Who else does it?
Did you hear what I said?
No, people that stutter, very cute. Yes.
I just think I'm going to close it on this. I just think that we don't have to run to be the first of everything. That's how I feel. I think some things we just have to be the head of.
Some things we don't have to be the head of, and the Catholic Church may be one of those things.
It's definitely one of those things we have to be the head of.
Okay.
So can we talk about this big news
What's the big news?
about your homeboy
Okay, let's talk about it.
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you
what's the issue you take with it?
I don't know
Because
if
there's many things you may not have issue.
I don't know if I take in. This is what I take an issue with.
Okay.
I take an issue with the hypocrisy of it.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. You got to know yourself. There's two things. Let's just break it down. Shannon Sharp, for those you don't know, played in the NFL years ago.
Right.
Wasn't really that popular for you. If you didn't play football, you didn't like football, you didn't know who he was. He wasn't like one of those, you know what I mean?
He was not.
He was, but for us who watched, he was that guy, right? But recently he's become this mega star, if you will, making a bunch of money and has his second life in podcasting, right?
Exactly.
Left the show with Skip Bayless and became bigger, right?
Right.
So now Shannon Sharp, who's been dipping in that cocoa since he was in college and skiing on the slope since he was in college, got caught up with a young
skier.
Fluff bunny, right?
Right.
And now is on the chopping block. Facts. This happened the same time that he got this $100 million deal.
Right. But let's be clear why he's on it. It's not just because of that. It's because of what she has accused him of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not minimizing that. I'm getting all the stuff out.
Okay.
I'm getting all the stuff out. So Yes, he was accused of the SA.
Right.
You know, you don't say it because
Got
of he was accused of that. What we do know about this guy is that he plays roles and likes allegedly likes to play roles and do things. And he met this young lady, one of probably many, who's an OnlyFans model.
Right.
And they've been doing their thing for a while. Now, they started when she was, what, 19. 20?
19.
Which is me as me. That's a little crazy for me, right?
Right.
And he's like 55.
Yes.
55?
About that.
So all that's happened at the same time. He's saying it was consensual. The lawyers are saying if it's 100 times and 99 times she's yes, the last time she's no, this, that, and the other.
You still no.
There's video out there, whatever.
Right.
I don't really, everything else aside, like if he's then it is what it is.
Was that you saying SA? Carry on.
Because I know how how the internet acts.
Got on. Yep.
But the point I'm making is that doesn't seem to be the hype. The hype is not like, yo, he committed a crime. The hype is
the girl's age.
Age, right.
Yes.
Which is crazy, because I'm going to get to it.
But at what point does it not become an issue? Is it because the words end in teen? She's 19. I think if she was anywhere in her 20s, it'd have been okay.
Yeah, but
there's a line.
That's the thing, though. She's 21 now, right?
Now, but she's saying that when it happened,
I'm not excusing, because I'm of a certain big age, and I have my limit. I have my number. Well, I'm like, I'm not going below that number. I'm not even.
Yeah, please don't go below your number.
Listen, you know my number. My number's
do know your number. Stay right there. That's a safe number.
Here. And she's I
think it's because of the 19 thing.
I don't think so. I think that's hypocrisy.
I think it was 23 that I'm like, oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah, which is crazy, though. But think about this. Bill Belichick has a girlfriend. He's 74.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing this for 2 years. Met the girl when he was like 19, 20.
Right.
And black people didn't say nothing. Not a thing. Nothing. Been rocking with this girl. And here's the other side. This is going to put me on the chopping block.
Okay.
I think we're hypocrites when it comes to this. And I think we get big mad. I'm going to tell you a perfect example.
I don't think we care about Bill Belichick. That's why we're not talking about
We don't care about Shannon.
We care about the Shannon Sharpe of today because of what he's made himself
we care about
in the podcast. And we care about all the things that come along with his second life and the drama that is attached to it. Like when he had the recording that he accidentally recorded himself. It was like 10 months ago, and then now this happened. We care about what is
nobody cared about
shown to us
nobody
on
cared
our
about
social
that.
media.
Nobody cared about
on
that.
On our Instagram.
Nobody cared about that. I'm going to tell you what's happening, and I'm going to tell you the hypocrisy of it all. When I was young, y'all remember Juice?
Yes.
Y'all remember Juice?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember how when Q had that girlfriend who was a woman with an apartment, who had a husband and everything? The girl from En Vogue. Q was the man. We didn't care. It was like, oh, you did that. And also, I'm gonna bring it back in the day. We know this in high school. The street boys used to pull up to the street in cars with gold chains and everything. We knew they were too old. The fellas like, yo, he's too old. We know this guy from the block.
That's true.
Way too old.
Very true.
Nobody cared because it was cool. You had your drug dealer boyfriend, right? Now fast forward. And this is my challenge.
Okay.
Fast forward now. This man's getting it. And I'm not here to say he's right. I'm just saying the hypocrisy of it all. And now it's a problem. Oh, 19s. No, y'all were rocking at 17 with drug dealer boyfriends, and nobody said it.
Yes.
Your mama might have been
but
like,
look
hey.
at the age difference, though. We're talking about 19 and 55. When you were in high school, girls who were in high school, let's just say they were anywhere between 15 and 18. The drug dealers were no older than 25.
Wait a second. Yeah, this is going crazy.
And that's fact.
So let's say
that's fact.
So look, I'm going to tell you. I used to date somebody, God rest her dead, in Brooklyn, who used to talk to this guy, who was a drug dealer named Lennox. Lennox was 30 years old. She started talking to Lennox when she was 16 years old. I was the side piece, reaping all the benefits. Lennox he did his thing.
Right? Lennox was 14 years older than her.
That's my point.
And he was not what you consider an old man. And so when people look at it now,
are y'all listening to this? A 30-year-old and a 16-year-old? Are you kidding me?
No, he's older than her, but I'm talking about somebody who's 19 and 55. That's an old man.
This is what I'm saying the hypocrisy is, because she's legal. A 16-year-old's not legal. And you can actually go to war and vote.
Okay.
But somehow you can't make a decision like that?
Yeah. But you know what?
But at 16 is okay because the age gap is a little bit slimmer.
We talked about this because Nia Long talked about it. She was 30. No, the boyfriend was 30.
This is my point.
And she was 16.
This is my point. And she said it like it was nothing.
It was nothing.
I actually have the clip. Can we play the clip?
Let's play the clip.
Let's play the clip because I have a clip.
But let's just point out that we're talking about the same age. Boyfriend was 30. She was
This is when
high school.
This is when I say this is why it's crazy. And I don't know, my clip's not working.
I wasn't the girl that ever went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school. I know my mother was crazy, but you know what? I would never ever I mean that in a good way. Like, she was an artist. She was like, well, if that's who you love, baby. And he was so good to me and kind and like, right? And he did it the right way.
You're here doubling down on the fact that the age difference is not that big.
You're asking me, or the conversation that we're having is, why is it so crazy? It's because the 55 sounds ridiculous.
The 30 to 16 sounds ridiculous. What are you talking about?
It sounds ridiculous to me. Obviously, I would never let that happen the way Nia Long's mom did.
Oh my gosh.
But what I'm saying is that's why people are saying, or are so, I guess, surprised or having conversation about it, is because he probably has children and grandchildren.
I got a question. Let's just, which one's worse? 55 and a 19 and is now 21, or a 30 and a 16-year-old?
They're both bad.
No.
But we're having a conversation about people are acting like it's the end of the world. That's what we're having a conversation about.
Now we switch the conversation.
I still think they're both illegal.
They're not illegal.
The 30-year-old messing with the 16-year-old?
That's illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
But the
that's illegal.
55-year-old and 19-year-old is not illegal.
So you want me to give you my answer in legality?
No, and whatever. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you.
The one that is actually 16 is actually worse, right?
Okay,
because
I just want to be clear.
Jail. Yes. But
not just go to jail. There's a difference between a 16-year-old and a college student.
I understand that. Okay. But I'm talking about why people are so up in arms about it. It's because he is so old.
This is the hypocrisy. I'm going to tell you what furthers the hypocrisy. This is what furthers the hypocrisy. And I'm going to say this because if you're a man and you're outside, these 19 to 25-year-olds are not the 19 to 25-year-olds of the 1900s.
They're not. Things are different.
Wait, what?
Things are way different. And the way that it's different, too, for everybody is it is all being captured.
I would honestly, Shannon Sharp would be in trouble. Like, I'm going to see him. I'm going to take my sharpened, melted down toothbrush. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be a prison situation, right?
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that for us of big ages, as upset as we get about this, I'm like, yo, y'all really, I get it. I understand. But y'all come from the age of when y'all were bugging. And when I was sitting back, I was a crazy guy. And I'm going to tell you this right now. At 16 years old, let's be honest, as a man, 16, 17-year-old, the dream was to have a Cindy.
But then you realize that was not reality.
That's not true.
I mean, it could be somebody's reality.
Do you remember?
I do remember.
Okay. Well, I'll say no names, say no situations.
Names, and I got it.
Okay.
But it's because
it was in the world for $1 million.
You remember those situations because they were so rare.
But he was the man.
Yeah, and I got that. But I'm saying
my room,
is not the reality.
My dorm room was laced. He was the man. So that's what I'm saying. For men, Now, why is it not? Is it different for men? Like, if me, a 17-year-old, got with a 25, 30-year-old woman, would it be different?
Yes.
It's a little different?
It's not a little different. It's still wrong. It's still something
Let's
that
ask the
should
fellas.
not happen.
Fellas, when you were in high school, what was the dream? And I don't know if it's bad or whatever, context, whatever. But when I was in high school, I had a teacher that I would call over and be like, "Hey, I don't know how to do this problem. You help me? I don't know how to do this, Miss Johnson.
Yeah.
Miss Johnson, I need
Help
some
me.
tutoring.
Yeah,
need
I
some-"
get it. Yes. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's for everybody to decide. I just think that sometimes we can be hypocrites about certain things.
We can.
We can really get really mad, and then sometimes I wonder if the anger is about something else, but just the thing.
That's fair.
Because I'd be pissed off if my 19-year-old, if I had a 19-year-old, was talking to a 55-year-old man, but I'd be ready to kill somebody if a 30-year-old was talking to a 16-year-old. I'd be really on some other stuff.
I get it.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Well, Taye, I'd like to make sure we start off our segment, our first one of the Bestie Crew, Bestie of the Day. And we have Mr. Bo Bivens with us today.
Okay. Big the Bo. Used to get that a lot. Yeah, I know.
Used to. Still do.
Still do.
Man, it's crazy.
What's up, man?
You got it, big
I see you wearing a Detroit hat.
Yes, sir.
I just want to apologize for the smackdown we put on you a couple of days ago.
Oh,
It's for the
okay.
Pistons. Yeah, it's going to be one of them interviews. Yeah.
Man, if
Look,
you-
I saw you
Hey.
post that real
Hey,
quiet in
dude.
Detroit.
Listen, because
Real quiet in Detroit.
I've had multiple bets, like small bets, whether it's like activities. The bet that I had with somebody was I had to wear a Detroit versus everybody's shirt
Okay.
if the Knicks lost.
Okay.
When Brunson got the ball, I said, "Oh, we're good." I don't know how. I said we're good, and it was in Detroit. And the person that I had the bet with was texting me all through the game. Oh, we come back. Look at Detroit Heart, this, that, and the other. But when that shot went in, the stadium was just quiet, first of all. My friend didn't answer my phone calls.
Why should he?
Right.
It's a she. So every time she posts something on Facebook, like she got caught in the airport, like 5-hour delay. So I'm like, it's been a rough week for you.
But you call it a smackdown now. That
It was a great series. It was a
Okay.
great.
All
It was,
right.
it was a great.
All right.
Let's
it was.
course
I'm gonna be
correct.
honest with you. I thought there was gonna be a Game 7.
No question. We just turned the ball over. We young.
Y'all came back last year. Y'all had. I mean, from last year to this year, y'all like.
No doubt.
I know
We
this,
deep, baby.
you don't know about this.
Well, this is the thing. He's a coach, so he's
Yeah.
about to start using some vernacular. I heard him about to start just there. When you turn the ball around. Uh-oh.
I don't think the Knicks. If you saw what happened, they're tired. They're a little beat up. I don't think we can make it past Boston. And I love and it's not me. You can never be a Knicks fan and say anything good about Boston. I'm not saying anything good about
Never.
Boston. I want to be clear.
Okay.
I'm saying that my
Just being
team,
realistic.
they're tired. Like it's at the end of the game, you saw how tired they were. The game before that, they were just tired. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to even sit out here and just talk too crazy. But I'll never. You know the culture. We could never just do anything Boston. We wouldn't even talk to Boston women. We don't.
You from Roxbury? Negative.
I can't do it. But yeah, man. So I think it's a great moment to talk to you about this because your book. What's the title again? Tell me the title.
Choices and consequences.
Ooh. So great segue into what we were just talking about. Because good God, choices and consequences. So tell us about the book.
So the book.
Actually, tell us about yourself because I've heard some things I don't want to say. I want you to introduce yourself, tell yourself, how you got to where you got to, where you are.
Okay. Nah, I mean, we started out right. I'm originally from the D. More specifically, the Brewster Projects on the east side of Detroit. Left there, matriculated at Grambling State University.
Okay.
Where I played ball and started coaching. And you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Matriculated. let me say that. Matriculated and graduated. But yeah, so learned a lot from Grambling, Detroit and Grambling, Louisiana, I mean, it's like day and night.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know people like that existed, you know, who speak to everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Go out of their way for you, you know. It was a family that, you know, I befriended a guy because we playing ball, and he took me to his house on a Sunday. You know, he said, my mom cooking. So, okay, so I get there, his mom say, you know, anytime you want to wash clothes, anytime you hungry, you can come over here. Matter of fact, we got an extra bedroom. That's your bedroom.
That's crazy.
You know, we're going to leave the door unlocked for you.
That's crazy.
So one day I took him up on it, right? I get there, and the door was unlocked. I said, this is a setup. Right, I think they just set me up for a B&E.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. And so I go in, you know, and just say I was tired. We practiced at 4, 5 in the morning, and I fell asleep. I woke up. Sure enough, the food was being cooked. You know, my clothes had finished washing. And in Detroit, we will not leave our door unlocked for family.
Nothing. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Wait till we get there,
Right?
You know, so it you know, just to see people like that existed was a culture shock for me, a great learning experience. You know, so you know, they just educated a thug. So I'm just an educated thug, you know, for the streets of Detroit who played ball, did a lot of good things, started coaching and teaching, and so currently, you know, I professor at Clark Atlanta.
You're a professor at Clark.
Professor
Yes.
at Clark.
Okay.
Not only a professor at Clark, let me say this. You know, last year I was awarded Male Faculty of the Year.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And earned it again this year. So
Okay.
2 times.
And you know,
Male Faculty of the
and
Year,
if I have to
man.
say, like
Yeah.
Clark University, that's a stellar school. Like, you know, I know some people that went there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hello. Good. Okay.
But currently, also, I'm the associate head basketball coach at Morehouse.
Did you coach at Clark too?
I did. I did. Yep. I was the head
Okay.
coach at Clark for about 3 years. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, Morehouse Clark, that's good. You know what's crazy? I think when you said that, like when I came to the South, I was just shocked at the first thing that was off-putting was people were staring at me. I didn't understand that. But they're really staring just to say hello.
Mhm.
So I came here and I got down here and I was like, yo, this is like one of the nicest places I've ever been. Like people talking to me. Hello on the train when I was doing riding Martin and all that. But I also had met a Southern woman down here. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We used to hang out. I was coming home late one night from the warehouse. And she said, are you hungry? And I said, I could eat. I fell asleep. Woke up to like baked chicken, macaroni and cheese. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's different.
You thought it was going to be fried bologna or
I haven't
something.
returned. I haven't returned to Atlanta, to New York since. So you know, yeah. Okay.
All right.
So the book, choices and consequences.
Yes.
Okay. So let's bring this in and apply it to what we just talked about. Now we set up the pieces of what happened, right? But we didn't get into the choices and the consequences of what happened. So setting it up, man has a $100 million contract, has some quirks and things he's been doing for a while, making money, thinks that he can do whatever he wants and can get away with it. Starts to feel like, you know what I'm saying? So in terms of your book, like what advice would you give to him? If he was sitting right here, you had some advice to give to Mr. Shannon Sharp, what would you say to him?
Oh man, your choices got consequences. You know what I mean? It's real
You gotta live
simple.
with
You
it.
know, before any interaction, any encounter, right? It's a choice that comes through your mind. Do I continue to talk to her? Do I follow up with this? Is there good chemistry? Is the energy good? You know, I see the way she's looking at me. That's a choice, right? But if I do this, there's some consequences that will arise. I could possibly have to resign from ESPN. Everybody's going to know. You know what I mean? So it's definitely consequences from those choices, you know.
He should have made a choice to go see Sinners first. That's what he should have done. If he saw Sinners first, he would have known. If he would have talked to like a Dr. Umar, he would have known, like, bro, it never ends well.
Yeah.
It just doesn't end well. I hate to say it, but especially if they're not ride with you from day one, it never seems to end well. You can't just jump into like, you know, into the bunny situation and be okay. It just not for 100 million. Now, here's the thing. He offered 10 million, which says a whole other thing. And she said 50.
Correct. So that lets you know she got some sisters in her corner.
or
Yeah, she got some sister girl. You can get more than that.
or got a couple of lawyers, you know what I'm saying? A couple of gangsters in a corner.
That's already been doing this.
Yeah.
That's what
They've
they
been
do.
doing. That's what they do. They go and
what
they
they
set
do.
the trap and then, you know what I mean? Because the people she rolling with, you don't just meet them somewhere. Somebody has to say, hey, listen, go get with this guy because it's that $50 million, $10 million. Let me be 19, find me a 55-year-old cougar, white lady, and she says $10 million, go quiet. Okay. Do you need anything else? You know this could continue. We're going to spend your money, not mine. Are you kidding right now? Okay, so where can we get the book, though? Where's the book available?
So the book is on all platforms,
Okay.
wherever you can buy a book,
Okay.
wherever books are sold. It's doing very well. It's funny that you mentioned the title. I received a award for the best title,
Okay.
once it's, came out. So it's been doing very well. I recently had a Meet the Author event at the Woodruff Library for the entire AUC. So a lot of the students and faculty and staff came out to support that. It's a #1 seller in the bookstore.
Nice.
CAU. So
Nice.
Doing real well.
Is it better? You self-publish or did you go to a publishing company?
self-published.
So what's the benefit? You think it's better doing it that way?
I really would say that, yes, it is, because when I first, because I didn't even know how to get started,
Mhm.
right? So once I finished writing the book, I just went online, how to get your book published, right? So then these publishing companies came up. And so one of them, I sent the script to them, and they came back and say, man, it's great. Say, but you got to change everybody's name. Right?
Oh.
So I was like, huh? I said, yeah, for liable reasons, you can't, put Dre's name in there because everybody gonna know who you're talking about, So I'm like, okay. So I go through, I change everybody's name. Then they come back and say, great, now you got to change all the places. Like, huh?
Why?
So, yeah, because people gonna know, if you say Detroit, then they gonna figure out who you talking about. So I had to change all these places. So then they said, okay, what name are you gonna use? So they was like, you need to come up with a pen name, right? So I'm like, okay. So my projects is the Brewster Projects.
Right.
So I, Brewster Douglas. So I would say, okay, I'm gonna use Brewster Douglas.
Right.
Say, no, you can't use that name. I said, why not? Say, because your first name starts with a B and Brewster starts with a B, so you can't use that one. I said, you know what? Y'all can have this.
They want too much control.
Yeah. So I went to another publishing company. I didn't know this was a Christian publishing company. So sent the script. They said, okay, great. So then she read the first chapter. She said, oh my God, no, we cannot publish this. We're Christian. And I said, okay, I appreciate it. And so it's a bookstore that I frequent in Morrow. I'm like, man, I want to get my book published. So he turned me on to an editor, and she read it, edited it, and then we kind of self-published through it.
You got to send it out to everybody, or somebody does it for you? Like, do you have to send it out to stores and like you do? Okay, they do it for you.
I just order it, and then whoever gets it, they just
Got it.
order it themselves. Yeah.
God, okay. More money. Okay, good. I've made some bad choices and had some interesting consequences.
Yes.
But I've had some great stories though. Like, I've had some great stories. Like nothing too crazy, but this is what I will say about the choices and consequences. Me personally, it's crazy now. Like anything you do is like there's a spotlight on it. But some of the stuff that as a kid that I did, what? Like what? Talking about grace, bruh. Like. And that's another reason why I always say this when we're talking about people that we love. It's people popular, like, for example, Will Smith. I don't believe in throwing people away.
Yeah.
Because I know that I made some choices that I could have easily been in somebody's jail for, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or could have been following them around forever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Totally agree with that.
So, like, that's why I don't believe in, like, throwing people away. Like, not like that.
You can make a mistake. But you don't have to get those.
It's got to be egregious. It's got to be. You got to be like, you're like
seriously
whatever.
bad.
Like and then still like
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting? Everything that we've been talking about is in the book.
Okay.
So we got choice of life, choice of religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Choice of sex, choice of friends, right? Choice of education. So everything that we're having a discussion about right here is relatable because it's in the book. All these choices are made, and it starts with the choice of life, right? Your mom and dad made a choice once you found out she was pregnant. That's a choice.
I think I was a mistake.
No doubt. But you were mistakenly here.
I did.
Right?
That's definitely a choice. I did the timeline one day, and I was like, wait a second. Wait. Carried a one.
Right. Minus the 9.
Yeah,
What's happening?
listen. I'm like, oh, she got a little bump in the wedding pictures. Nah, but I hear you. I truly believe that life is a bunch of choices. I definitely believe that every day is a choice, and you go this way, you go that way. And
Absolutely.
if we're conscious about the choice we're making and we're really honest about them, we don't blame the world for what we
No,
do.
you have to own it.
You know what I'm saying? You got to
You have to.
There's a concept by this mystic that I follow. He said there's a difference between being at fault and being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And the choices that come with that. So being at fault, right? Say you're in a car accident and you're sitting at a light and somebody just hits you. You're not at fault, but you're responsible for following up and getting your car taken care of, right?
Correct.
And a lot of times we mix that responsible and fault thing, even in our choices, and we don't make the proper decisions or get out of holes because we're not aware of the nuance between responsible and fault.
Yeah.
That's something I kind of like. And even if something happens in your life, this is for everything else for the next segment. If you want to stay, like for example, if you want to stay in that place, if you want to stay in that dark place, you're responsible for getting out of that.
Very true.
The damage been done. That's not your fault.
Right. But
if you want to
it's still
stay
your
here,
responsibility.
that's on you.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's on you. So I appreciate you being here. Oh, here goes Maybelline. I appreciate you being here, man. For real. I'm gonna read the book. You know what? I haven't read a book in a while. I've done audiobooks, but I haven't really sat down and read a book. This might be the first book I read.
Yeah, it's something I like to share when it comes to the book. A lot of people know people that wrote books, but very, very few people know the person that wrote the book. You know what I mean? So
got that.
got the guy right here.
I got that.
Wrote the book. So, yeah.
Now let's do it. Did you read the book?
I did. I got the book last year. He came to Dallas on a tour.
You read it?
I did read it.
You read?
I do read. I also listen, but I read more than I listen to audiobooks because I don't think that's reading.
It's not.
Good.
There's something about physically turning the pages. I know.
Yes, I have a signed copy.
That's I mean,
that's why he is the first bestie of the Bestie Krewe show.
I want a signed copy, but in there I want to say to Taye, greatness personified. I want so when you're big, I'll be like, yo, you know what? I got this. You know what I'm saying? I want you to really gas the thing in the book. Yeah. You've made great choices, Taye. That's what I want in my book.
What you want?
I want in my book right there, signed.
You know, it was funny too when I was the head coach at Clark. I didn't know this, right? I didn't know this. I came to a homecoming event and I saw Run CAU, you know, and that was what I had labeled my team.
Nice.
Because we played fast, but I didn't know that, you know what I mean? So Run CAU, we had shirts and everything. You know, so I was like, who told him about
Run CAU? How do you know about this?
Yeah.
Shout out to man Keenan in the building. He just walked in. What up? What up, Sleep? That's awesome, see?
Yeah.
It's all for a reason. Let's look at that. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Huh? Dre be giving me the wrap up. The wrap up.
Yeah, we on some timetable now.
Yeah, I get it.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for coming out, man, bro. For real.
Oh, man.
Choices and consequences. Clark Professor, you got to get it. I know some of y'all didn't go to Clark. You went to Spelman. You're okay.
Wendell went to Clark.
Wendell to Clark.
Yeah.
Oh,
Carol went to
only
Clark.
like two of y'all in here.
Keenan went to Clark.
But it's okay. Howard, Spelman. Morehouse though, right? Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. You know how they act sometimes. He's not one of my Morehouse brothers, so I can't. No. Thanks for coming out, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I think
appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is it? We're over time. It's time.
Yeah, it's time for the next episode.
Yeah, it's been a good moment. It's been good. I just want to say to all of you out there, listen. I just get this clear. I just thought about. I just got a text message saying this. I don't support the guy's action. I'm just having a conversation about the action. But anyway. So it's Bestie Krewe, episode
4.
3. 4.
Yeah.
3. See, keep us on point, Wendell.
He is the man.
Keep us on point.
He's the producer.
Episode
of the show.
4.
All right.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know.
All right.
All right? All right, good.